to the beginning of the Cape Wrath Trail. 230 miles from Fort William to the lighthouse at the Cape Wrath. I'm going to try and get it done in 14 or 15 days. I've got a heavy pack on. I think it weighs about 17 kilos, which is far too much. I weighed it the other day with all my food in, and it was at 14 kilograms. But since then, I've added my bag of electricals, which has got a massive power bank in, and I've added 2 litres of water, and that equates to around 3 litres all that, so we're looking 17 kilos for now. I was going to post myself a parcel, a food parcel, about halfway through, but then I figured half my food, 2 kilos, I'd rather just carry the weight now, and then my pack get progressively lighter as we go. So that's what I've decided to do. I mean, it is heavy, like, I'm lugging a lot, but it is what it is. Day 1, heading down into Kona Glen. This first part where I'm at now is a lot of road walking, so it's just a case of head down, arse up, graft on. I'm going to stop for some breakfast soon, like, because I've not had anything to eat yet and I'm starving. So I've been hiking for about nearly 2.5 hours. When you get to them stones there, the little painted stones, you know to take a right here and not go straight on. It'd be so easy to go that way, but that's where we're headed there. It's got a sign saying private road, but no unauthorised vehicles. I'm not a vehicle, although I'm built like a tank. Don't feel like a tank at the minute. I'm getting a few hot spots on my feet already. I think it's because it's so warm. Anyway, onwards. So we're coming into Kona Glen. Look at these, man. Shit flies, but they're like double the size of the shit flies we get in England. They're massive. And normally when you like waft a midgie or something like that, it just flies away. Not these. You've got to whack them and like drag them off and they're still alive. I've got a midgie net, like, but it's absolutely roasting. I'm struggling, to be fair. I feel the back of my neck. Oh, I feel the back of my neck getting sunburned, so... But we're in Kona Glen now. I mean, look at this, man. Proper nice, isn't it? It'd be better without me in the picture, like, but where are I? So onwards, the plan was tonight, I was going to camp somewhere along here, just before we start rising up to go over the top of a little pass into Glenfinnan. But because I got such a good head start this morning, I got the first 8 o'clock ferry. I've getting further than I thought, you know, so if I stop there where I was planning on stopping, just by this river here, it'll be too early, and it's a long time to spend in a tent, you know. So I'm thinking about, well, once I get to the bottom of the bottom of the elevation to go over the pass, I might stop and I might cook myself some bait, filter some water, and then see where I'm at. I mean, it's not a massive mountain pass. It's just a little one, I think. But this bag's starting to feel heavy now. I've had 2 cereal bars, and I've hammered loads of water, but I haven't had any like proper food, you know. So I've got loads of oats and that with us, and I've got loads of dehydrated camping meals, quite hard calorie ones. Why? 600 calories or something, which I'll definitely be in a calorie deficit on this hike. So I've got enough. I've got dehydrated meal or freeze-dried meal. I've got enough for one for every day, and I've got 2 oat, like porridge sachets for me breakfast a day for about 10 days. And then I've got a few cereal bars and all that in my bag. So, but the plan is to have two sachets of oats for my breakfast, snack on a couple of cereal bars throughout the day, and then a nice meal on a night time. And then every time I come into like a little village or a town like Glenfinnan, I'll get like fish and chips or something, you know what I mean? Or like a nice meal burger or something. But either way, I'll still be in a calorie deficit, but I could do with shifting a bit of weight anyway. Oh, but the sun's sapping me, you know. It's proper taking it out of his... Can't complain because it's beautiful, but it is hot. It was forecast for 20 degrees in and around Glenfinnan area, like this area. I mean, I don't know what it is there now. Signal on my phone's long gone. But I think it's going to be like this for the next few days, which I can't complain, can I? Bothy there. But I think it's state owned, that one, so you can't, it's not like a public one, you know. This heat, I'm not going to come in here and just complain every time, like, so, but this heat is killing us, like. It seems like this corner of Glen, I mean, as beautiful as it is, it seems like it's taking ages to get through. If it wasn't so hot, oh, it's just getting to get wafts of warm air. And I'm going to have to stop for some dinner shortly, like. And then flies, can you see it? Still alive, I just squashed it in my fingers. Canny hard and all. They're like military flies. To me eye, look. Like military flies. Roided up flies. Proper 2 millidecker flies. Horrible, like. I've had to take my pack off and have a rest. Oh, my feet are hurting. Dear one. Nah, it's just because of the heat, man. The heat's just sapping us, like. My feet are obviously warm. And I'm getting a couple of hot spots on the balls of my feet. So I'll have to see to them straight away, because the success of me doing this, like getting to the finish line, I need to take care of myself, like physically. Mentally, I think I'm strong enough to get through it. But physically, I don't know if my body's capable of doing it, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to be tactical with looking after my feet, my muscles, my knees, my hips. I'm kind of counting on the fact that I'm going to be pitching my tent every night around about 5 o'clock and leaving in the morning around about 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So that's a long time off my feet, where I can sit and nurse my feet and rest and all that sort of stuff. The Old Faithful. I was looking at some newer ones what they've got out, but I mean, you can't go wrong with one of these. Tried and tested, you know what I mean? It's a bit bulky, but who cares? Aye, aye, full bottle. I might put an electrolyte tablet in there as well. I want to fill this one up as well. So this is the first campsite that I marked on my map just before I go up into the mountain there. Mountain, whatever you want to call it, massive hill. It's really steep, like, but it's only 25 past 2. I can't pitch up yet. Glenfinnan's just over the top, but oh, that looks so steep. There's a person hiked all the way up. I've been catching them up, so I must have a better pace on than them. But I'm going to sit here. I'm going to do myself a proper meal. Take my socks and shoes off. Have a cup of coffee, proper meal, loads of water. Maybe spend about half an hour, 45 minutes here, and then I might tackle that bugger there. See the path going up? Goes up and then over the top of there and down the other side. Up and over. Easier said than done, like, but anyway, let's get me, I'm starving. Oh, I'm ready for this, like. Get a nice blister on my foot. I've got a couple of blister patches. I'm going to stick them blister patches on, have this bait, have a coffee, and I'm going to have to tackle that. I either do it now or do it in the morning, and I'd rather do it now. It's only 2:45 or something. Far too early to be camping up, pitching up now. Got a nice blister on my foot. I'm going to put a patch on it, blister patch. It's about 2:45. I'm going to have this, have a cup of coffee, put my blister patch on. I'm going to tackle that tonight. Pointless doing it tomorrow morning, isn't it? It's only 2:45, I can't pitch up yet. But if I do go up and over, just going to take it out because it's going to kill us, I think. I'll find that very difficult. If I get round to the side and there's nowhere to camp, I think there's a bunkhouse in Glenfinnan. I don't know if you've got to book it up or not, or what, I don't know. But we're in Scotland, man, you've got right to roam, haven't you? So you camp wherever you want, really. Within reason, you know. Struggling, like, I'm not going to lie. 3:30. I've been hiking up this hill now for about 20 minutes. Just slowly. I just keep turning around, having a look, see where I've been. And you see that mountain as far as you can see? I come underneath that, in front of that. So I've come all the way up there. And look at that, man. You know, I'm going all the way up here there. You see, am I pointing on there or not? Aye, all the way up here and then run to the right. And it levels out on the top. But it's the sun, man. I mean, I am knackered as well. And I put my blisters hurting us, but it's the sun, it's just sapping my energy. I reckon that's going to take us a couple of hours to get to Glenfinnan from here. But when I get there, I'll be glad I did it tonight, you know what I mean? And I think the weather's going to be like this tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday it's going to cloud. Why? I mean, you cannot trust the weather forecast, can you? But I reckon by Sunday it's going to cloud over a little bit. Praying for that, me, like. I've packed for the worst weather. Got waterproofs. Everything in my rucksack is in individual dry bags. And then they're inside rubble bags. And then I've got my rain cover for the top. So I'm like literally waterproof. I've got some shorts in my bag. And I've been thinking about putting them on, but I'm frightened to get ticks on my ankles, you know what I mean? So anyway, I've only just stopped just for a bit of a breather, so I'm going to get cracked on now. It's getting really remote now. I mean, it's been remote for ages, but like it feels really remote now, you know? So that's where we've come from. And that's where we're heading. I still think I'm about 5k away from Glenfinnan. And then probably a little bit further to find a camp spot, because I can't, like Glenfinnan's like a built up area, you know, it's got like a visitor centre and all that. Monument and all that there, so I don't think there's going to be anywhere to camp around there, so... Oh, I'm tired now, proper tired. Day one, and it's like a massive struggle. Massive struggle. 13 days left after this, do you reckon? Will I make it? I'm going to give it my best shot, like. My blister's feeling a lot better with that pad on. But then again, I think I've just adjusted the way I'm walking, so I'm not walking on it, you know. Cut to me, walking like Liam Gallagher. Saw everything. Right, I genuinely think though, if that sun wasn't as hot as it is, oh, and it's been on us all day, there's no rest from it. That sapped us like. A little bit cold, I'd have been fine. But I think we're going back up again another couple of 100 metres here, so head down, crack on. 6 o'clock, I'm about 40 minutes away from actual Glenfinnan. But I can start to hear a road. I can see lorries not going past in the distance. See humans. Well, I've made it to Glenfinnan. I was going to go into the town and look for a bar and have a pint, but road walking, I couldn't be asked to walk on the road. But look where we are. Can you see it? So that's the viaduct on Harry Potter. Is it Harry Potter? Aye, Harry Potter. Not that I've seen Harry Potter like, but apparently that's where it is. I'm going to pitch my tent somewhere around here. I don't know where, but there's still loads of people about, but oh, there's some nice flat grass everywhere. Oh, but I've been going nearly 12 hours now, and I am absolutely knackered. My feet are killing. Oh, and I just want to get this tent up. Oh, we'll have a look, we'll have a look. Oh, today was a long day. Probably too long, to be fair. I've done over 20 miles. I think I've done about 24 mile, 23 or 24 mile, because I've come right past the viaduct, because there was nowhere to camp when I got to the viaduct. Oh, I've got a bite, gutted. It's one of them shit flies, isn't it? So I've just kept hiking. Anyway, I've come across a lush flat pitch of grass right next to the river. So I've been down, soaked my feet, and I filled up loads of water. I'm going to filter it. And I can't be arsed to have another meal, but I'm going to have another meal because I'm starving. And then I'm just going to get my head down. Day 1 on the Cape Wrath Trail. Heavy. This is heavy. My feet are killing. The blisters on the bottom of my feet. That blister patch comes straight off. I think all the waters came out of it. But I just need to be careful. Like, I'm going to put some plasters on tomorrow. Because if I get a massive hole in my foot, it's not going to be good. I need to hike on these. These are going to get me to the lighthouse, you know what I mean? So, anyway, catch us in the morning. So here we are at the start line in Fort William. Now I stayed over in Glen Nevis campsite, which is off the map a little bit here, which means I camped there the night before, which means I could get an early start and get the first 8 o'clock ferry over to Camusnagal, which is where you start. And then this is a massive long tarmac road all the way down the side of Loch Linney. In tarmac with a heavy pack on a hot day is an absolute foot killer from what I learned. But it was beautiful nonetheless. Made my way all the way down, and this is the area where there's a tree with all of those painted stones, where you know to take a right and follow this road. The tarmac road peters out and it turns into a pretty rough 4x4 track all the way through Corner Glen, where I've seen some adders, and there was I think this was it here, there was a bothy owned by the state. You weren't allowed in, but there was a bothy there nonetheless. You follow this river all the way down. Big hills either side, beautiful place, and the sun was absolutely cracking down. All the way through Corner Glen. It seemed like it went on forever, to be fair, but it was absolutely gorgeous. Now I've got here, I've marked for a Camp Night 1. I copied this off a different YouTuber who did the Cape Wrath Trail, and this is another YouTuber. So I followed a couple of different YouTubers. And marked on my map where they spent the night, just to give me some ideas of where I could camp. I didn't camp here, but this is where I sat and nursed my feet and made myself a meal and a cup of coffee before I tackled this really, really steep incline over the Bailach down into Glenfinnan, which this bit was longer than I anticipated. And then by the time I got to Glenfinnan, I was absolutely knackered. I had a look at the little monument, and then I went up to the viaduct. There was loads of beautiful places to camp around the viaduct, but I don't think you're allowed to camp there because obviously the visitor centre and it's quite public. So I didn't want to risk putting the tent up just to get moved on. So I made my way further up past the viaduct, just before I got into these woods, and I camped right on the river. And I think I camped around about here. And this was the end of day 1. So I think the total distance for today was around 22.5 miles. Morning. Day 2 on the Cape Wrath Trail. Oh, I've been in this tent for about 9 hours now, nearly 10 hours. 6 o'clock in the morning. My feet are hurting. Oh, my head's all itchy off all them flies and mosquitoes and that. Right, but I'm going to get up and get some breakfast. Get some coffee on, eat some oats, and I'm going to nurse my feet because I've got 2 massive blisters on my feet. I'm going to put some patches on them, put some dry socks on, and I think it's going to be another scorch at the day, like, so I'm going to hang my wet socks onto my rucksack. Hopefully they'll dry out a little bit. Condensation in this tent is crazy, but that's the thing with these single skin tents, you get really bad condensation. So I'll run a sponge over it. I put the trekking poles quite high as well, so there's been more draft underneath, but it wasn't enough. No breeze, you see. It's dead still last night. Last night's pitch. Morning of day 2, eh? Just put my soaking wet shoes, trainers straight back on, which is always nice. That's the thing with these trail runners, man. You're guaranteed wet feet. Even if you walk through long grass, your feet get absolutely soaking. I mean, there's water squelching out of these now. But the comfier on your feet, more lightweight than hiking boots, you know. And if your hiking boots get wet, which they will, because you ford rivers and everything, hiking boots are horrible when they're wet. Heavy, take ages to dry. So that's why I've opted for these trail runners. Well, we're away. Leave no trace. It's been a cushy little spot, like. Lucky I found it because I was knackered last night. Right, we should be coming up to Robothy pretty soon after looking at the map. So we'll have a look about there and we'll see where we're at. My feet are hurting. But what do you do, eh? Day 2, Cape Wrath Trail. What's that, 12 days? Why, it's the beginning of day 2, so there's still 13 days to go. Or 14 if I do it in 15. Sun's starting to come out. But it is a bit cold, so anyway, how we crack on. So you might be thinking, why do this? Why put yourself through it? But just a challenge, you know what I mean? And I found that when you take on a challenge and you complete it, just the feeling what you get's class, you know, and it's important, I think, to get that feeling every now and again. So I like to just take on challenges, you know, and I've recently just took on one of the biggest challenges in my life, and that was going to university and getting a degree. And not many people, that's not that challenging for some people, you know, but for me it was really difficult. I'm not really academically clever, you know, and playing the game of university where it's all about ticking boxes. And I mean, I'm quite intelligent and I know my stuff, but with university you have to write essays and stuff and do it their way, you know, and it's not about what you know. It's about, when you're writing about something, it's about what other people know, and you have to research what other people know and compare it to what other people think, and which I think is a bit weird. But anyway, I got through it with loads of help from people. It was probably one of the most stressful times of my life. But the sense of achievement I've got now, and I finally got the job that I've wanted for years, and I really love it and all, you know. I absolutely love my job. It's class. I'm so glad I took it on. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of my family, like, and my friends. So thanks to them. I've took on other challenges as well. I used to be a bodybuilder. Competitively, I mean, I wasn't very good, but never came first. But I've done a few shows, but I never won, you know, and that really got under my skin, I think. But I wasn't good enough. Some of the other lads who I was competing against were just better than me, you know. I can use any excuse like I dehydrated or whatever. But the thing is with bodybuilding in university and challenges like that, you can put in all of the work you want. You can graft and graft and graft. But ultimately, the decision whether you're successful or not is subjective, and it's down to somebody else to make that decision, whether you've passed or not, or whether you deserve a trophy or not. You know, it's always like somebody else. Challenges like this, the Cape Wrath, this is all on me. Whether I succeed or not, it's got nothing to do with anyone else. You know what I mean? It's all down to me. So if I fail, I can take that. It'll hurt, but I can take that. But also, if I succeed and I get to that lighthouse at the Cape Wrath, I mean, I don't know how I'll feel, you know, but Yeah, we'll see. I was lying in my bed last night in the tent and I started thinking about my family and that, and my wife, little Roman, and Bruno, and the girls. But I thought, no, stop. And start thinking about them. Not now. It's not in day 2. You know what I mean? End of day 1. If I start pining for home, nah, it'll make us weak, that. So I need to just switch off, eat down, crack on. I mean, look at this, man. Absolutely beautiful, like, proper stunning. It's got electric and all, isn't it?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, nice one.
We also have a light here. With a switch.
Luxury. So I don't know the name of that bothy, but oh, my feet. 3 Dutch lads camping out there. They started the trail at Glenfinnan and they're going to hike up to, I don't know where they said they were going to go. They're not like going all the way to the lighthouse, but they've got like a 2 or 3 days to see how far they get. 3 nice blokes. Very nice. But aye, sound. I'll be crack on with them for 5 and then I'm heading on. Just come all the way up there. Not too steep, but just rocky and slippy, and I'm heading up there now. I'm nearly at the top and I'll start making my way down the other side, I think. So lush here, man, look. Class, like. So them 3 Dutch lads just caught up for us there. I stopped for a bit of a breather, got myself some water and all that, and I was stood for about 5-10 minutes talking to them. Sound lads, to be fair. They were a lot fitter than me, I tell you. But they go hiking, they were saying they go hiking all over Germany and all that, so they go hiking in the mountains in Germany in the winter. So I think they're pretty hardcore dudes, them, to be fair, like. Not like me, amateur, but hey, mesmerising. I'm going to try my best not to use words to describe where I am that are like cringy, you know what I mean, like breathtaking, stunning and all this sort of stuff, you know. It's just not what I am, but it's kind of breathtaking, like. I mean, I can still breathe. It's the hill what's breathtaking. The views are spectacular, proper nice. I'm just glad I'm not in that sun, you know what I mean. Anyway, I only really stopped for a bit of a breather, so I thought I'd pull the camera out and do a bit of a vlog. So this is what's down to the side. It's just been, there's a massive herd of deer there, but obviously this GoPro, the zoom on this is not very good. But there's about 20 deer just basking in the sun over there. And it's in the cloud inversions down there as well. Nice. That's where I've come from. We'll follow that all the way down, round, down to the bottom. No path, just pure, there's bits of path here and there, but it's just pure bog. And absolutely loads of shit flies. I've had to put my long sleeve on and my midgie net because the shit flies are absolutely annoying us, like. And I've got some nasty bites and all. Look at this. And I've got them all on my arms and under my elbows, and I've got about 50 bites, I reckon, like, and they're really starting to itch us. So You can see where you're going with this one, but what do, you know what I mean? Shit flies, man, and they're tough and all. You smack them right, and you grab hold of them and you twist them in your fingers and you flick them off and they just fly away. They're proper tough, like. I didn't think they bit you, but I'm covered in bites, and they're the ones that's landed on us. Big, thick, voided up ones. Not nice. Anyway, it's flattened out a bit there now, so I'm just going to crack on, get to this bothy, and then get a bite to eat. There's another one there. Fuck off. Not ideal, is it? Oh, it's been like this for about... Oh, my foot's stuck. It's been like this for about half a mile. Oh, we're out. Oh, thank God for that. Just slipped straight on my arse. I slipped down in the bog, and the weight of my pack just dragged us back and lay flat on my back. I couldn't get up. I was like a turtle. So I've just stopped for 5. I'm going to put some music on in a minute and just have a rest. Look up there, man. It's so remote now, there's like nobody here. See that shit fly? See what I mean? That bite and all's gone horrible, like. Bastards, eh? I'm going to put some music on and just wander down there to the bottom. The sun's come back out now, like. I tell you what, I'm buzzing for this top because it has helped loads with the midges or them shit flies. Just filtered some water, neck loads of it. I'm kind of hungry now, but I'm going to wait until I get to the bothy. So I've just come past them 3 Dutch lads that's sitting there. One of them's got his foot in the river. He's went over and sprained his ankle. Don't think it's broken. Like, I've had a look at it, but I mean they're now at the deal anyway, so they're pretty clued up on stuff like that. So don't think it's broke. He's just resting it in the water. But I've fell over 3 or 4 times. Luckily they've all been just slides and I went down right, but it could have been so much different, you know what I mean? And I know I'm like catastrophizing, but if you hurt yourself out here, you're knackered, like, you know what I mean? I can see a massive eagle over there. I'm not going to bother turning the GoPro around because the zoom's crap. It was a massive eagle. Right, so I'm heading down here. Oh, well, let us get me stick. I'm heading down here, all the way down, and I'm going to go inside this forest and follow the forest all the way through. And then when I get to the other end of the forest, that's where the bothy will be, the first bothy of the day. So let's crack on. Awesome, isn't it? Proper awesome. I'm about to go into that wood now. I think I'm going to follow that path going up there and then up, all the way up through the woods. I'm hoping it's going to be a nice break from the sun, you know. Can you deep that, like? How inviting does that look though? You could just jump in there, you know. I mean, I'm not going to, like. What a nice respite from that sun. It's lovely in here and all, like, so. But the shit flies are back, so I think the midgie net's going to have to go back on. Oh, but it's lovely and cool in here. Glendessery Woods. Just stopped for a little bite to eat and a cup of coffee. Just cooked some porridge oats here, done them in. And I'm just going to boil some more water for a nice cup of coffee. And we're halfway through this forest now. Goes down to the left for another couple of K. And I should get to that bothy, like. I whether to just stay at that bothy tonight What time are we on? Nearly 2 o'clock. Probably get that bothy at about 3 o'clock. But then it's about 8 or 9k to the next, to Barrisdale Bay. And I think I could make it, but then am I not pushing too hard, you know what I mean? So I need to be careful I don't push too hard, like. I'm going to get to the other bothy, this next one here. I'll take my shoes off and have a look at my feet and that. Maybe have another cuppa, and then I'll make a plan from there. First off though, hot lava java, you know what I mean? Update, my feet are hurting. The bit where I've got blisters, so I'm like walking on the edge of my feet, like sideways like that. It's asking to roll an ankle like this. But I'm just trying to take the pressure off, like the base of me 5th metacarpal, oh Craigie son, you're supposed to be a physiotherapist. Metatarsal, is it the 5th or the 1st? Your big toe, is it the 5th or the 1st? Oh, I think it's the 5th, the base of the 5th metatarsal. It's called the, oh, what's it called, man? The joint. Oh, MTJ, is it MTJ, metatarsal joint? Oh, I don't know. I cannot remember. And I've never tread anybody's feet before. Oh, I mean, I do know I'm pretty good with my anatomy and that. Anyway, I'm just rabbiting now. But it's not like pain, it's just like stings. But I'm just worried about the skin, what's blistered and like went hard where it's soft now because it's soaking wet. I'm worried that's just going to like peel off and I'm going to be left with a patch of just bare raw skin, and then I'm going to be hobbling on her. So that's why I'm trying to, because when I put pressure on it doesn't really hurt. I mean, I can feel it, it's sore, but I can handle that. If it wasn't for my feet, I'd be away like I see. I'm just worried that it's going to get worse. But anyway, am I just being doom and gloom? I'm not, like, I'm dead happy. I'm nearly there and all now, I think. What time are we on? I reckon about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and we should be at, is it H-Will Bothy? I've just passed 2 hikers there. They didn't stop, like I says, higher, and they sounded like the other 3 lads. They sounded quite Dutch. Technical difficulties, ran out of battery on my GoPro. Anyway, them 2 lads I've just walked past, I think they were Dutch. They never said much, like, apart from morning, and I'm just basing the fact that they're Dutch on the way they said morning. They sounded Dutch. I don't know if that's ignorant or whatever. So that's 3 groups of people I've seen. On day 1 I seen a Scottish guy coming over the top in towards Glenfinnan. He was really struggling, like. He says, oh, he had no hiking poles. You need these hiking poles, like. And I look like, you might seem like a bit of a geek walking like, good morning with hiking poles. But honestly, you need them for this sort of thing. He never had any of them. He said he was carrying too much weight. I noticed he had like a big spade on his back, like a big stainless steel spade. It was a shit shovel, definitely a shit shovel, but it was massive. And you didn't need to carry stuff like that, you know what I mean? You need a shit shovel or something to dig a little scat hole, but you didn't need to carry a spade. Like, you got to bury your body or try to dig up treasure or something, you know what I mean? Anyway, so there was him, and there's them 3 Dutch kids I seen. What a nice lads, them. I hope that one with his ankle, I hope he's alright. They're coming to this bothy anyway, so I might catch up with them later on. And I've just walked past them 2. I'm guessing Dutch, based on the way he said morning, and he looked quite Dutch. Is that racist to say that? So I've just came out of the woods and it's all opened out like this, look. How beautiful is that, man? So remote. I'm sure the bothy is around that corner somewhere though, so I'm going to head a little bit further down and have a look. See if I can see it, because I can't get down there, it's too steep. Here we are at the bothy. It's right on the side of the wood. Forest, whatever you want to call it. There's not really any camping spots around here, like I'm not sleeping in there. Anyway, we'll go and have a look in and make sure there's no one in first. Right. Oh, must be people staying in here. Must have went for a hike. I'm not staying in here, like. I'm going to stay here for a bit. Sort my feet out and that. Oh, I don't really want to stay when there's people here, you know what I mean? I'm not really keen on bothies anymore, I'd rather be in my tent. Let's go a bothy book. 2024. Oh, I'll sign this before I go. It says here, Frognall Bothy Society. Lunch pass. Oh, loads of people. Oh, there's enough space. I'll write something in before I go. There's plenty of gas, like. Plenty empty gas. Right, it's 10 to 4. I've decided to crack on to Surleys Bothy, which is 10 kilometres away. Sun sets tonight at around 7:30, but even after sunset it's still light a little bit, isn't it? So as long as I walk about 3 kilometres now, there's a big mountain I need to go over, like. So I'm pushing it. There's nowhere to camp round here, and I'm not camping in there, like, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to crack on and try and get to Surleys Bothy. If I find a nice pitch on the way, I'll stay there, but I don't think there's going to be any, like, so I'll not be doing much filming on this one. I think it's just going to be 8 down, graft on, and see how far I can get in 4 o'clock. I reckon it'll be probably dark by about 8 o'clock. Right, dark enough, light enough to pitch a tent at 8 o'clock. So that gives us 4 hours to do 10k. So as long as I do about 2.5, 3 kilometres an hour, 3 or 4k an hour, be alright, one is right. Anyway, crack on. I didn't know whether this is a good idea or not, you know. Trying to get it to there. I mean, this bothy here is the end of stage 2, and I can't see why I'm so set on getting further, you know. There's a tiny little pitch of grass outside. I'm not staying in the bothy, like, not when there's people staying in there, you know what I mean. I'd rather be in my tent. But if I put my tent up now, it's going to dry out lovely. Like, I'm going to be cutting it fine, like I was cutting it fine last night, looking for a pitch and all that. And before you get to before you get to Surleys Bothy, there's a massive drop, a massive decline, really, really steep. So that's going to be really time consuming to get past. And I didn't want to be coming down there in the dark. I mean, I've got my head torch and stuff, but I've just put brand new blister plaster on, like. Oh yeah, crack on, I'm going to do it. Look at this place I've found, man. I'm camping here tonight. I've only been walking about 50 minutes. I've came across this piece. It's just in the middle of the woods. Oh yeah, I'll stand out here so you can get a good look at it. Too good to pass up, like. Look at that, man. It's a fire pit over there. I'm not going to have a fire, like. But it's in the woods right by the river. Oh, I've just filtered loads of water and all. Right by the river, look. That'll be my soundtrack tonight, just the trickling of that river. Bet there'll be some creepy noises and all in the woods, but no, I'm stopping here, like. Definitely stopping here tonight, like. Big Agnes divide. Oh, nice and comfy. Got the old OEX sleeping bag. I've had this for a while now. Wake up with feathers all over you, but it is nice and warm, like what's just lofting up there nice. And we've got a Trekology Luft pillow, and that's me sleep system. Ah, look at my feet. They're in tatters. There's a nasty blister there, like. Them blister plasters are pretty sticky, like. Oh, it's a nice one. The thing I'm worried about is if that bursts, and it leaves raw skin underneath, you know. Oh, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? Oh, that stings now. I've took the plaster off. That's going to burst eventually, isn't it? It's going to have like soggy sauce, raw skin underneath it, innit? But it is what it is. I haven't got many. I've only got about 3 of them blister plasters left in all. So I'm hoping. I mean, I've got loads of daft plasters, but they're not good enough. Like, have I lost weight? Day 2 and I'm withering away. Once I get to a shop, I mean, when I get to Ullapool, which is halfway, but I'm not going to get there till like late next week. Maybe it's Thursday or something. It's only Thursday now. Is it Thursday now? God, it's only Thursday. It's only day 2. The end of day 2 on the Cape Wrath Trail. And I've covered some ground like the past couple of days. So most people say like, oh, your first couple of days, you want to ease yourself in and don't burn yourself out. But my logic is, I'm going to get tired eventually. Right? And the first few days is not easy, but not mountainous. So my logic is, if I just crack on now, bash on, do loads of miles, get a good head start, when I do fatigue in 3 or 4 days' time, in the mountainous sections, I can just take my time and just do 10-mile days. You know what I mean? Then again, I think today was only about 10 mile. I've done about 15 mile, I think, like. But that 20-odd mile day yesterday was brutal. But it's going to be brutal, innit, the whole thing. That's why not many people do this trail, because it's classed as the most difficult trail in the UK. And I've set out to do it on my own. And I've never done a long distance hike like this before. I've done multiple days on my own, or with Bruno camping. You'll have seen them videos if you follow the channel. So I can handle being on my own. That's not an issue. It's the day in, day out grafting, which is going to be difficult, you know. Looking after my feet. I think when this blister bursts, it's the raw skin underneath. As long as I keep it covered with a blister plaster, it'll eventually just heal, won't it? And it'll eventually like go hard. It's not going to stop us, like. You seen all these feathers? You see them all? It's all off my sleeping bag, you know. Surely that's not normal. Your sleeping bag to hemorrhage that many feathers. And I've got bites all over my head. Hundreds of them everywhere. Dead, it's starting to itch now and all. Right, get some tea on. So I've just been reading the guidebook there for stage 3, which is tomorrow, over from the bothy that I was at earlier on, which I know I've come a little bit past there. But from that bothy to Barrisdale, it's 15.5 mile. Doesn't look too bad. But I've just been reading about stage 4, the following day, and that sounds pretty hardcore, that, like. It's 20.5 mile, and the guidebook reckons you have to split it into 2 days because it's just too difficult, even for the strongest hikers, it says. So, but I'll face that when it comes. I'm only going to worry about each day at a time, and tomorrow we'll worry about tomorrow. So if you're enjoying the videos, like, share and subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. Good night on the end of day 2 of the Cape Wrath Trail. So this is about where we woke up, and we set off down this tarmac track all the way through this woodland, really early in the morning. It was really atmospheric and beautiful, and we did get to Corryhully Bothy, where I met those the 3 Dutch guys, which were really cool. I had a bit crack on with them, and then I set off all the way up, continue on B. So this is where we were, all the way up here. Can't really remember it very much, other than it being really, really beautiful. And I'm sure I came through a gate that had no fence. Anyway, we came all the way up into the woods, walked around inside these woods this way, because this is where the bothy is, and the guidebook asks you to go around the outside. However, if you come around the outside, you end up nowhere near the bothy, and you have to cut all the way across. So I figured cutting through the woods would be I met 2 more, which I'm thinking were Dutch dudes in these woods here. Not too sure though, because I'm totally ignorant. Anyway, went into the bothy, had a bit of look around, as you can see, and there was 2 people staying in there. Well, I seen 2 rucksacks anyway. I decided to push on. I was going to carry on as far as I could, but once I got into this little woodland here, around by this river somewhere, I can't remember exactly where it is, I found the most quaint little camping spot next to a piece of grass, right next to the river, and that's where I spent night 2.